think a few more offensive struggles than probably most people thought coming out of the gate. Does that worry you at all, or is it just 3 games in and just kind of how the games went?
Well, I mean, as you said, that's 3 games in. You're not talking about a bunch of guys who haven't hit before.
Yeah.
So I would say conventional wisdom would say the guys are going to hit, certainly better than they performed today. And that's really what it comes down to. I would say struggling certainly almost top to bottom there, just finding some green space, which happens sometime. But it's 3 games in. It's certainly not a time to hit the panic button. You don't like it. It's losing is not fun. But when you score 1 run in 18 innings, that's pretty tough to win. So the good part about that is I'm pretty confident we've got some good offensive players. So we're going to keep grinding and turn that around.
There were a lot of hard hit balls tonight. Did you like at least your offensive approach?
Well, for the most part, I think game 1 we were a little, coming up and off the baseball. I don't know if it's, if I would say selfish at bats. I don't know if that's the proper term, but not kind of getting away from our philosophy. So, yeah, I thought against Michigan, I thought we hit some balls hard. Even Swifty's ball to the wall and the hard double play there. I think that was hit as well. But that's baseball. That happens sometimes. So, not going to overanalyze it too much from that standpoint. It's probably more on the defensive side of it, because if you play that day back, as much as we struggled, even in game 1, you get that game down to base hit, 1 swing of the bat, you win the baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
We probably play the 9th inning a little bit differently if we're sitting at 1-0, but realistically that should be a 1. We muffed a couple balls defensively on each corner, where that's a 1-run game. You're 1 swing of the bat, as poorly as we played offensively. So that to me is going to be the takeaway and the teaching point, that our identity should not and will not be set around being an offensive club. It's pitching and defense, which allows me to segue into the pitching piece of it. I think if we pitch the way we do or did up certainly the 3 games, those are our biggest. The offensive piece is not the question mark to me coming into the season. The biggest question mark is, how are some of these young arms going to stack up? How are some of the new guys going to stack up? I like what I've seen so far. We pitch it like that, we're going to win a lot of baseball games.
What do you like the most about Benson today?
The fact that we didn't play real well behind him at times, and it didn't rattle him. And even after the solo home run by Zimmerman, he came back in and settled in and got those guys. I loved his mentality. We did not help him on the defensive side. We certainly didn't help him on the offensive side, but it did not faze him. He just kept doing his job, which is to give his team a chance to win, and we did not do that for him today. But I liked his composure.
The 2 newcomers, you look at what Fall did last night and what Benson did today, it seems like they were very good at, when adversity struck, they came back. I think Benson today gave the homer and then had 2 straight strikeouts. Have you been impressed, and how important is that going to be going forward, the composure?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And we're sitting here 1-2 right now, and but I'd say we're learning a little bit about this club, because every game, every pitch, every inning has been a high pressure inning, and that's a little something different than the formula last year. So I think it allows us to see some stuff. But the bottom line is, we're not playing winning baseball right now. At the end of the day, that's what the ultimate what you want to do is win the game. And the offensive struggles, I gotta believe, based on history, are going to turn around, and we're going to continue to develop that young pitching staff, which I think has done a pretty good job up to this point.
Boyd and Cooper were kind of raving about the games that JK called for them. How have you been impressed with the way he's been able to kind of manage them and
He's
mix
done a
pitches?
good job with them. I mean, I think the belief that they have in him is, and JK has done a fantastic job, but when you call a game, the guy has to execute too. We've done a really, really good job of executing. I thought Cooper, particularly tonight, was able to locate what was called, and thus it makes, when you're calling a game, very easy to do that when your guy's out there. So, yeah, I mean, I love the progress we've made on the mound. Disappointed on the offensive stuff up to this point, but like I said, we've got some pretty good hitters that just We didn't get any hits
Yeah.
today, so not a lot to say other than that.
Is it,
Put Lika in behind Torque this Michigan game. Are you just going to keep looking
That
for
was
the right?
more based on the lefty, that they had, and Jump and Trevor not looking real comfortable on the lefty, certainly today. Just kind of, moving that around a little bit, just trying to find some protection for Torkelson.
putting Swift at leadoff, did you like the approach that he gave in that spot, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the ideal spot for him, but we're not, we're set on the how would I say, the pieces, just not the order yet to figure out. We're trying to find that balance of athleticism on the defensive side of it, but yet not have giveaway outs is still something with a couple of the injuries we have. So we'll continue to do that, and that plan works if you're hitting. You can sacrifice a couple outs, but all that stuff gets magnified when I don't want to say they're not struggling. We're 3 games in, so they're not struggling, but just not getting hits right now, and but that stuff becomes magnified, and those. What I would say, those 2 maybe spots down the end of the order, they become more critical because now you're leaning on those guys as well. So we're gonna work, and we're gonna continue to do what we've done, which is just take a mature approach to this, look at the film, see what we've done wrong. Some of it was coming off the approach, and we'll work on that. These guys they're good players, they're smart, they want to succeed. So I would assume those adjustments will happen and happen pretty quickly.
Is it going to be Thornton tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to go Tyler Ford tomorrow.
Are you surprised, just based on their experience and what you saw in the preseason, that they are coming out a little bit slow?
Yeah, we didn't see that coming. I mean, why would you? We actually had a really good inter squad. We went at it kind of full go last Sunday, and things went kind of what we thought. The hitters hit against some of the arms. It's not like they're facing bad arms every day either. I just think guys are pressing a little bit, and when you press, and we talked about that even before this game, it's not all about trying harder. It's just slow yourself down, and that sometimes it's hard to do when you haven't had a lot of experience. And I'm talking years of experience. That's why they have minor leagues, but because young guys try to press, and so I think we're just going to get back to talking about that, and making sure they understand we're not going to get it all back in one swing. Be who you are. We've got a good offensive lineup, and I'll say it, I'm not worried about our offense. I mean, we're going to be fine, but it's highlighted when you don't score the runs. But for me, I'm looking at this. If we pitch the baseball like we pitched the first 3 games, and there's still a lot to be done on that, but those are pretty good signs for me that we're going to win a lot of baseball games because we are much improved on the mound.
It's only been 3 games, but you think on kind of rotating in Baez and Jump on that DH depending on the lefty-righty?
Well, I don't know. I think Baez brings a certain presence in that lineup too. That's the trick of it, trying to find, how do you get, all the offense you want in there, but at the same time not sacrificing the defense. And I thought, our outfield defense right now is something we're, need to address and need to shore up as we have some of these guys that are on the mend, because you lose that athleticism, it makes a difference. But it doesn't make as much of a difference if you're scoring runs. You can kind of cover those things, but it's highlighted when you don't, and that's what we saw certainly today.
Did you think in the first game that the double play had been completed before the runner scored?
Absolutely was. Yeah. I mean, we have the advantage of video, and right now our conference is elected not to do replay as a Power 5 conference, which, I'm hoping at some point we make that decision to do that. But yeah, if we have video replay today, there's no question that run was off the board. But I'm not going to sit here today and blame the umpire for our loss, because we had plenty of chances to push runs across the board. That happened to be the run today that was the difference in that. But yeah, that it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Thank you.